Hey everyone, let's talk about Etsy packaging on a budget. So, really quickly, I want to go through everything that I use typically when I'm shipping out my orders for Etsy or Shopify. I tend to use a ton of paper pads, whether it be from Michael's or Joann's. They're so awesome. You can get, depending on like the size that I'm working on, I typically get like one packing envelope per page along with several earring cards. And so this is just a tiny sample of all the paper pads that I have. I have a shameful amount, but it's okay, I'll use them up. So let's start with what I typically use. Bubble mailers from Amazon, fancy scissors. I found these while thrifting at Goodwill. I highly recommend checking out your thrift stores for anything that you can use. A round corner punch. Mine is like a medium size and it's from Joann's. Some thank you cards. I'll also be showing you how you can make your own in this video, but these are super cute. I love looking at stores like TJ Maxx or Burlington or Ross for discounted greeting cards. These are the envelopes that I made using the paper pads, and I'm going to be showing you how to make your own today. And they're super easy, and you can clearly see why I've stuck with this method because it is just so cute and it's a nice way to add a custom touch to your orders. And do not throw away that scrap paper. I'm going to be showing you how I use my scrap paper. Whether it be for labels or as envelope fasteners, do not throw away that scrap paper. Here are some my own little thank you cards that I've made using paper pads. And these are some mini envelopes that I like to use for little earrings like studs or smaller earrings or earrings that need to be attached by the customer. I like to put them all in one place. And here's another perfect example of, while we're doing this first, these are some of my own business cards that I printed at home. And you always want to attach care instructions for the customer so they don't know how to take care of the order that they just got. And so just showing you the options that you have. And I love adding the logo at the back to make it a little bit more professional. And these are some earring cards that I made using paper pad scraps. Perfect example as to why I say don't throw them away. There's your hope. Keep mincing my words, holy cow. They're super helpful and super cute, and I love the paper pads because on both sides you typically get some really cute designs, and it's just, a good way to make the most of your own money. And these are some mini earring cards using the scrap paper, and I love these options. I'll typically use these for studs and they'll go in the mini envelopes. And I found this while thrifting at Goodwill Outlet. It's like stickers for envelopes, but I figure that can be so cute on orders, so don't forget thrift stores. And I love to add little affirmational cards to empower the person who's going to be wearing my earrings. So you want to keep that in mind, like you're selling something, but how can you actually change their lives, It's the little things. And these actually came in some paper pads. So paper pads, they have like not just paper, but even stuff like that. You'll need double-sided tape and regular tape, whether that be matte or shiny, it doesn't matter, but the two of them I always use. And then washi tape. You want to check the clearance section of any craft store you go to, any store, whether it be Walmart or Joann's or Dollar Tree. Always check for the clearance section because you can find a lot of cool stuff there. But I love to keep several washi tapes on hand because I have different paper pads and I like having options. And this is obviously shipping tape. You want to make sure that you always have this on hand, and it's very useful to have a shipping tape gun. Today we're going to be using Free Spirit by Park Lane Papery. I love their paper pads. Holy cow. I love them. They have some of my favorite paper pads, and I'm always itching to check out that corner. I think this particular brand can be found at Joann's, but oh my goodness. And I always like looking for plainer papers to do thank you cards with. This is my scoreboard and guillotine, and I use these every single time. I found that working with them is much easier than working without them. Trust me on this. If you can spend a little money on this, I highly recommend it. And you can even use like a 50% off coupon that Joann's typically has like all the time. So what I like to do is clean up the paper. What I mean by this is if it has like a little hole at the top, I just like to score it out or cut it off, but scoring just helps me to keep an even line. Right now I'm using an older envelope that I made and just like, trying to figure out how big I want it to be. And from one paper pad, I think I cut off maybe about 4 inches. I think so. But just eyeball it on your own piece of paper. And now I'm going to score off 1/2 inch from the bottom. And you'll see why. Basically, when it's folded, it needs to be taped. And I measured my double-sided tape, and it's about 1/2 inch in width. So that's why I'm scoring off 1/2 inch from the bottom. And now I'm folding it in half. And we're going to score it again. So you're going to turn it this direction, and then you're going to score it 1/2 inch again. And then I like to do 1 inch on the other side, but it's up to you. I found that 1 inch is just enough for me to be able to fold it when it's done, and you'll see how I fold it at the end. The reason why I'm cutting out this section is because the other side is going to be folded into it, and that's how the envelope is going to stay closed. If anything seems confusing, it'll all make sense in the end. By the way, I'm sitting next to my heater, so if you hear anything, that's that. Thanks for living in Maryland. And the round corner punch is optional. I've just found that I like to do that, and it makes it 10 times easier. But today I played with my fancy scissors, and I actually like it. Today's the first day that I've used them since buying them. And now I'm taking double-sided tape to fasten the envelope. I lost that footage, but basically I just fastened around the sides and the bottom. These are some earring cards that I made using the scrap paper, and these are the mini versions of that, and I punched the corners with the round corner punch. Save that scrap paper. It saves you money, and it's just an amazing resource to have around. Now I'm gonna be making the thank you cards, and they could also be like anything you want, like any kind of card. Like, they're blank, and I love using them because they're easy to see when you write on them. You know, like if there's too much patterns, it just gets annoying to read. Repeating the steps here, cleaning it up, and honestly do whatever measurements you want to do here. It was just easier for me to fold it in half and then, you know, cut off any amount of inches that I needed to. But what I like to do is just measure using the envelope that I'll be using at the end, and then going from there. Because the goal is to make sure that everything you make can fit into that envelope. And every envelope you make can fit into the bubble mailer. So always use those as your guides. Sometimes I like to make envelope fasteners, and really quickly I'm just going to show you how I do that. It's literally just me, you know, measuring off what I want to do within the width and the height and everything, and just figuring out a way for, you know, like how I'm going to fasten it around the envelope. In the end, I didn't use it for this particular package, but they're a really cute addition, especially if they have like flowers on them or something. Any way that I can make my package special, I try to do that. I needed a cup of wine. I have a very whiny and needy kitten, and mama needs a break. Now I'm going to be showing you how to make mini envelopes. They're basically the same steps as bigger envelopes, but I figured I'd include those in the video. I'm also going to be showing you how to make a little pocket envelope. Repeating the steps as before, just cleaning up our paper. And what I'm going to do is divide this paper pad into 3 equal sections. And what I ended up doing in the end is cutting off maybe 4 inches from each of them. But if you want your envelopes or pockets to be bigger in the end, just disregard that. As you can see here, just mimicking what I would have done on a bigger envelope. And I'm still scoring 1/2 inch at the bottom. But for this one, I'm not going to do anything to the top because this one is going to be a little pocket envelope that remains open at the top, but closed at the bottom. for this one, I loved how it came out with the fancy scissors at the top. So I would highly recommend doing that. Now the difference between that one and this one, in addition to cutting off 1/2 inch from one of the sides at the bottom, you're gonna cut off about close to 1 inch at the top of the opposite end. And this is how you're gonna close the envelope. And now using double-sided tape, I'm gonna fasten it like I normally would. In the end, you just want to make sure that the presentation of your envelope is as clean as possible. So these are the thank you cards. Any way that you can make your package more personal to the customer, they'd really appreciate it. I know I would. And that's where these handwritten thank you cards and affirmational cards come in. And I love that it says flip me. It's so fun. And I use the fancy scissors on the shipping label. Haven't done that before, but I love it. And I'm gonna keep doing it. I think it's super cute. And here's one of the ways that I use the blank envelopes that we made. And now I'm just assembling the rest of my package. And this is why I love washi tape. There's so many options and they're so cute. So safety pinning the card, and then we're going to insert the earrings. And you always want to make sure that your earrings have backings. I've received orders without backings and I'm like, man, what the heck? So you're selling a complete package unless stated otherwise. You want to make sure you include everything that the customer will need. Alright, so in the end I have my bubble mailer ready to go. I got this from Amazon, they're not expensive. I have the handmade envelope, I have the shipping label and the packing slip, and then I have the thank you card with the affirmational card on the inside. And all that's left are the earrings, and that's pretty much it. Super cute, super simple. You know, anyone can easily say, well, this takes more time to do, but it's so fun. And the whole point of this is to make it super special for your customers. You know, if this was a gift, I would wrap it in tissue paper and grab, you know, like a ribbon from Dollar Tree and add it to that. But it's just making their day that makes your day. And then I add these little stickers at the end. Because I want when they get their package that they're like, oh my gosh, this is so cute. And then I have my little business card, and that's pretty much it. So just showing again all the different possibilities that you have. And you know, paper pads come with so many different designs. Like this is like a centimeter, just a fraction of my collection. So I hope you guys have fun, that you're inspired by this video, and that you can see that you can do this and you don't have to break the bank. Like, you don't need a scoreboard, you don't need a guillotine, but if you can spend a little money on those things, I highly recommend it. But you know, a lot of these things you can find at Dollar Tree, like the scissors or the double-sided tape. It just makes the whole process so special. Feel free to pause the coming clips and take a screenshot, but I can tell you off the back of my hand, you can get the double-sided tape from Dollar Tree, the regular tape. I've even seen washi tape from there, the scissors. They might have the fancy scissors. I think they even have bubble mailers. They aren't like colored or anything, but you can, I've seen those at Dollar Tree as well. And in the coming slide, you're gonna see, there's some stuff off that list that's on Dollar Tree. So I'm just reminding you, this does not have to be expensive. And shipping stuff does not have to mean, cheap means plain and boring. Like, get fancy and get creative, It's supposed to be fun. I think on this slide, you can definitely get the safety pins from Dollar Tree. You can get not round corner punches, you can get like hole punches, thank you cards. You can see if they have any like plain sets, or just get them individually. You can find materials for business cards. They even have stickers there. The world is your oyster, and like I said, do not skip out on thrift stores, even if it means waking up early and heading out to Goodwill Outlet on a Saturday morning. You never know what you can find. But that's it for this video. I hope you found everything that you were looking for, or at least close to it. I tried to make this video as comprehensive as possible. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below, and I will make every effort that I can to respond to as much comments as I can. All right, thank you.